Hi everyone and welcome to NCHC Between the Boards. I'm Greg Ankers. Coming up on tonight's show, we review a very busy weekend for teams playing within the NCHC and some of those playing in non-conference action. Plus, there's a new leader atop the NCHC standings. Later, we'll tell you about several individuals from around the league that are having a big impact both on and off the ice. And we've got the connection between St. Cloud State and Miami as those two teams reunite on the ice this weekend. We'll get to all of that in a bit, but we start, as we always do, with our Spotlight Series featuring two teams expecting a hard-fought, hard-hitting battle, and it delivered this past weekend as number 2 North Dakota visited Western Michigan, a series that has been slighted towards North Dakota at Lawson Ice Arena in the past. UND 6-0-0 all-time in Kalamazoo, but 3 of the last 4 meetings have been decided by a single goal. Close games would be the theme in this series once again. Early on, the Broncos with an early scoring opportunity charging into the zone. Michael Rebry gets off a shot, but Cam Johnson turns him away. This one would stay scoreless all the way into the third period. UND, another scoring chance. Shane Gersich centering to Brock Besser in the slot, clanks the post. 0 still up on the scoreboard. Then Western Michigan's Frederick Tiffels with a blast from the point. Maybe there's a goal. The Broncos certainly think there is. After a stoppage comes, the refs go to take a look at the video replay, and after a 9-minute review, they come out and say no goal, still scoreless. It would stay that way until 5:14 shows on the clock. Paul Ledoux sending it down low for Besser out in front, who goes backhand for the goal. That makes it 1-0. Western Michigan not done. Late in the third, Griffin Molino with a chance from the draw. Western Michigan gets the shot right here, but Cam Johnson again strong, solid between the pipes with the kick save. And then with seconds remaining, Besser going to end it with an empty netter for North Dakota as he cashes in his second goal of the night. UND hangs on to win it 2-0 in a tough battle, something everyone expected out of this series going in.
It's kind of been the same game every time we've came here. It's a smaller rink. They play a hard physical game, and they like playing in this barn with all the fans and yelling and everything. So we expected this for sure, and I think we stuck with it and did everything we wanted to do tonight.
We liked our effort level. We liked our compete level all night. We liked a lot of guys' games, and like you said, there's a few opportunities in the offensive zone that we would have wished to capitalize on, but we're going to bring that same effort and same compete level tomorrow.
In the series finale, goals once again difficult to come by, though a lot of scoring opportunities did present themselves. Early in the first, Brock Besser with a highlight reel opportunity here, but Lucas Hafner takes it off the shoulder to prevent the goal. Keep it 0-0. Cam Johnson would be tested early at the other end as well, coming up with a big save here in the first to keep it a scoreless game. It would be scoreless after 1. Midway through the second, though, North Dakota breaks through. Johnny Simonson going to race down and get the puck and then pass it out top to Shane Gersich for the goal as North Dakota takes the 1-0 lead. Western Michigan, though, would answer back later in the period, winning the puck off of the wall. Michael Rebry comes up with the shot and beats Cam Johnson there to tie things up at 1 goal apiece. But just over a minute after that, UND working a power play, and Christian Willanen sets up Besser. Too much time and space for number 16 as UND goes back up 2-1 heading into the third. In the third period, Griffin Molino, hungry for a goal on this weekend, gets denied of an opportunity there. Then later, Cam with another big save. Cam Johnson, that is. He had 28 on the night. UND wins 2-1 to stay a perfect 8-0 at Lawson.
To me, there were possibilities in both nights for us if we'd been better to find a way to win the hockey games. And that's what you have to do. And North Dakota does a great job of that. They find a way to win games. And right now, we're still in the learning process as far as that's concerned.
You know, they're a good team. Their record really doesn't show it. That's a tough place to play. And their fans are crazy, and they were going hard. But I thought we stayed composed, and we did what we needed to do to get the 2 wins.
Straight ahead, we continue our coverage within the NCHC as Denver visits Miami, while Omaha visits Colorado College. Those highlights are straight ahead as we roll on. Welcome back. Miami began a 4-game homestand this past weekend as they entertained Denver. These two teams got together 5 times last year, but this was the only scheduled meetings between the two in the regular season, and both teams looking for an edge. The all-time series tied at 9 wins apiece as the two got together this past weekend in Oxford. And both teams hoping to get off to a good start in this one and set the tone early for the series. Denver would be the team to strike first. Look at that feed by Troy Terry to Danton Heinen for the goal. Pioneers grab the early 1-0 advantage. But a minute and a half after that, Miami answers at the other end by way of Anthony Lewis. The sweeping wraparound there ties things up at a goal apiece heading to the second. In the second, late in the period, working a power play, Jack Roslovic just going to work and doing what he does so well, cleaning that one up out in front as the Redhawks take a 2-1 lead. Then in the third, late stages and on a power play, and too much for Denver as Miami's Kevin Morris cashes in with the empty netter as Miami goes on to win 3-1, getting the series off to a good start.
It was key that the first period we really got the pucks behind them, and we grinded out their D and really got on their bodies. And we didn't really do that in the second, but we came back in the third, killed off a huge penalty, and got back to work.
Denver would have something to say for Blasie's bunch on Saturday night. In the second, already up 2-1. Quentin Shore charging in, gets the goal there to give Denver a 3-1 advantage. Miami comes back, though, at the other end shortly after that. Alex Gasek with the quick wrister as he comes into the zone to make it a 3-2 game heading into the third. Just a minute 26 into the final frame, though, Miami's Sean Corrali faking the pass, drives in and scores to tie things up at 3 goals apiece. And then Denver regains the lead for good. 3 minutes after that, Will Butcher with the centering feed to Quentin Shore. Denver goes on top 4-3. They go on to win this 5-3 to salvage the split on the weekend.
I thought Denver pretty much outplayed us from the beginning of the game. They were the better team in all aspects of the game tonight. They won a lot of battles. They executed. We just didn't have that jump that we had last night.
After 2 months away from home ice, Colorado College returned to the Springs, playing host to Omaha. The Mavericks looking to stop the bleeding Dean Blaze's group with no wins in regulation since December 20th, entering this series. This one would start off a little slow, but end rather quickly. CC up 1-0 in the second and working on a power play, and Hunter Fegis with the shot tipped in out in front by Luke Gertis for a 2-0 Tigers lead. Omaha answers back, just over a minute left in the period, and that's just Omaha being Omaha. Brian Cooper with the big blast there to make it a 2-1 game heading into the third, and CC came out and put a whooping on the Mavs in the third period. Here the initial shot is no good, but Trevor Gooch follows it up for a 3-1 CC lead. Then later in the period, Cody Bradley the feed out in front to Christian Heil, and that makes it a 4-1 game. CC adds one more as they go on to win in a rout 5-1 in the series opener. Look no further than the power play. 2 for 4 for CC, 0 for 6 for Omaha. Could the Mavericks turn it around on Saturday night? Yes, indeed they would. Early in the first, off the draw, Jordan Clare coming up with a shot from the far circle to make it a 1-0 UNO advantage. Just a couple minutes after that, Omaha now on a power play, and Luke Snuggerud from Ian Brady on the feed there. It's the wrister to go home for a 2-0 Omaha lead after 1. In the second, Omaha starts to pour it on. Jake Gensel coming up with the goal here through traffic to make it a 4-0 Mavericks lead. Then later, the power play strikes again for Omaha. Justin Prizek through a screen out front. Good net front there as Omaha goes up 6-0. They go on to win 6-1 with 2 power play goals, salvaging a split in the series. Still much more to come on this edition of NCHC Between the Boards, including St. Cloud State battling for a North Star Cup championship, and Minnesota Duluth heads to the UP for a pair against Northern Michigan. St. Cloud State is proving to be a very difficult team to stop as they headed into the North Star Cup this past weekend. The Huskies lead the nation both in goals scored and scoring margin, proving that they're getting it done at both ends of the rink these days. They opened the tournament against number 19, Minnesota State. And St. Cloud State would need every bit of its potent offense in the opener against the Mavericks. In the first, trailing 1-0, Patrick Russell skating in, goes 5-hole for the goal to tie things up at 1 apiece. Just a minute and 22 seconds after that, St. Cloud State on a power play. This is why they are so good on the power play, making the extra pass to Mikey Acimont for a 2-1 St. Cloud lead. It would be 2-2 after 1 in the second. St. Cloud State turning it on. That's Jacob Benson in the slot from Blake Winicki as St. Cloud State grabs a 4-2 lead, but Minnesota State would rally to tie it at 4 until late in the third. Back on the power play, and Jimmy Murray with the game winner as St. Cloud State takes it 5-4. St. Cloud State power play just gets better and better. 3 for 4. That puts them in the championship game against Bemidji State on Sunday afternoon. And St. Cloud State would strike early and often. Just a minute 20 in, Joey Bennick following his shot and gets the rebound goal to make it 1-0. Then later, St. Cloud State back on the attack, and again, a filthy one-timer from Bennick makes it 2-0 Huskies after the first. In the second, more from St. Cloud State. Patrick Russell beats the goaltender there for a 3-0 Huskies lead, and then later in the period, this is how you work a 3-on-2, folks. Kali Kosala gonna snap one off here to make it 4-0 Huskies. They go on to win 5-2. A little disappointing in the third that Bemidji State was able to crawl back into it, but St. Cloud State, your champs.
We held them to minimal shots on goal. And Bemidji plays a real frustrating style sometimes to play against, and you have to honor it, and you've got to own it. And our guys did a terrific job tonight.
There's a strong meaning behind it. I mean, to get back playing against some of the old WCHA rivalries is obviously important, and to sit out last year and then come back and have the outcome we did this year was obviously very important for us, and it was good.
It's the final non-conference tilt for Minnesota Duluth as they travel to Northern Michigan this past weekend. These two squads have gotten together more than 70 times dating back to 1981. The Bulldogs swept the series at home last season that occurred nearly a year ago to the day. This one a physical series between these two teams throughout. We pick it up in the second, trailing 1-0 until Dominic Toninato gets the Bulldogs on the board with the goal to tie things up at 1 apiece. Then just a couple minutes after that, Duluth back on the attack. Adam Johnson charging into your picture, gets the go-ahead goal to make it 2-1 Duluth. This one would be tied at 2 after 2 in the third, just a minute and a half into the period. Andy Walensky does not miss from that range, giving Duluth a 3-2 lead, but Northern Michigan comes all the way back to tie it up at 3. Then with 4 and change to go in the game on the power play, Robbie Payne with the rebound goal there as Northern Michigan goes on to win the opener 4-3. Shots favoring Duluth 39-28 though, and Scott Sandlin would have some pep in his guys' step on Saturday in the series finale. Just a minute 9 in, Tony Cameronese with the goal there to give Duluth a 1-0 advantage. Then just a couple minutes after that, Parker McKay coming up with the goal here to give the Dogs a 2-0 lead. And they would look to strike again moments after that. On the doorstep, Cal Dukowski can't quite cash in there to make it a 3-0 game, but late in the first, Toninato would do just that. On the doorstep, puts in the rebound here. 3-0 Duluth after 1. In the second, Northern Michigan trying to come back. They would crack Casimir Kaskasuo on this one to make it a 3-1 game, but that would be the final. 3-1 as Duluth gets a split on the road. Here are the NCHC Players of the Week. For the first time this season, the offensive honor goes to freshman Mikey Acimont from St. Cloud State, who had 3 goals and 2 assists, as you saw at the North Star Cup. Second time this season, defenseman honors go to senior Andy Walensky from Minnesota Duluth for his goal and 2 assists at Northern Michigan. And for the 4th time this year, rookie honors go to forward Brock Besser from North Dakota. He had 3 goals and 1 assist at Western Michigan. And goaltender of the week honors belong to sophomore Cam Johnson from North Dakota for the 5th time this season. He made 59 saves on 60 shots at Lawson Ice Arena. Players of the month for January are in with the turn of the calendar. Player of the Month honors go to senior forward Joey Bennick from St. Cloud State, who had 6 goals and 9 assists over 10 games for the month. And we've got co-rookies of the month. From North Dakota, forward Brock Besser gets the honor for 5 goals and 5 assists in just 6 games for UND. And the fellow co-rookie of the month is Mikey Acemont from St. Cloud State. Forward had 7 goals and 7 assists in 10 games for the Huskies. There's a senior class award finalist from the league. Senior defenseman Ethan Prow of St. Cloud State is one of 20 finalists for this prestigious honor. He leads NCAA defensemen with 20 assists. The finance major is also a 2-time NCHC All-Academic team member. The finalists will be cut down to top 10 later this month. Here are this week's polls. The USCHO.com poll, the USA Today poll, mirror images of each other, just a slight difference as North Dakota and St. Cloud State continue to check in at number 2 and 3, while Omaha and Denver are 12 and 13. The only difference is UND's getting 9 first-place votes in the USCHO.com poll, while they're getting 6 in the USA Today poll. The pairwise rankings look like this heading into this weekend. St. Cloud State number 2, North Dakota number 3. Omaha falls to number 9, while Denver is sitting a little bit on the fence right now at number 12. The NCHC standings, we mentioned it at the top of the show. North Dakota is the new leader within the league with 41 points, leading St. Cloud State by 3. All teams have 8 conference games to go. It's Omaha, Minnesota, Duluth, and Miami continuing to fight in the middle of the pack for home ice advantage. Well, don't go away. There's still more to come, including a common bond between St. Cloud State and Miami that you may not know about. We'll explain next on NCHC Between the Boards. Welcome back. As Miami and St. Cloud State reunite this weekend, there's a deeper connection than just the fact that the two teams will be skating on the same sheet of ice this weekend. Head coaches Bob Motzko and Enrico Blase share a relationship that dates back nearly 30 years now. Here's more on their unique association.
I have a lot of respect for him and what he's been able to accomplish, and so I actually kind of look up to him.
When you coach someone and spend time with them, especially as an assistant coach, you get closer with the players on a more personal level. You know, at that time, he was just a great kid. Whenever the puck is dropped, it's a battle between two teams, while two coaches go head-to-head hunting for a victory. When St. Cloud State and Miami face off, it's more than just a conference rival, but two coaches and a friendship reuniting. He was very prepared, very passionate about what he was teaching us that day. His knowledge of the game was extremely on point. All those things put together is kind of the way we kind of do things at Miami to this day, and I think it's lessons that I learned probably that I didn't know at the time. Huskies head coach Bob Motzko once coached Enrico Blase from the Redhawks at Miami in 1991 through 1993. We were also there at a time when our program was doing new things, rising to new levels that they hadn't been at. And when you're with a group of guys and you're doing that for the first time in school history, you get pretty close. Both were part of the team that led the Redhawks to their first ever CCHA title, as well as their first NCAA tournament berth. With a friendship that has been over 20 years in the making, there's bound to be some good-hearted ribbing. Coach Blase emulates Coach Motzko in more ways than one, even when it comes down to what they wear on the bench. Well, I get heck from it, but I wear a sweater vest because I get cold. It was in honor of him because he wears it all the time, and I kind of joke about it. You know, I call him the old man when he wears a sweater vest. He likes to tease me, and he wears his vest now to poke a little fun at me, but I think the truth is he's soft himself and he's cold. So he picked up on it because that's what you do. You steal great ideas from coaches, and I think that's what he's really doing. He's stealing that idea from me. I think I wore it here, didn't I? And it didn't fare so well, so I probably will never wear it again. Now playing nearly a dozen games against each other as head coaches, the mutual respect and admiration continues to strengthen. It's been great to see somebody that you look up to now as a colleague and then as a friend from the old days. It's been a great relationship. He's a good hockey person, but
more importantly, a good person.
He's a great person. He's been a heck of a coach, and I've enjoyed the long relationship that we've had.
The two gentlemen go head-to-head once again this weekend. We'll preview all the games within the NCHC right on the other side of this break. Don't go away.
Well, I think you have to play good team defense, period, against St. Cloud. They're a high-scoring team. They like to score goals, and they score them in bunches. So you've got to play good team defense. So whether it's blocking shots or getting sticks in lanes or making sure you're doing a good job on the back check and tracking back, and that your exits are clean, that your entries are clean, all that stuff comes into play when you're playing a highly skilled team like St. Cloud. And so to me, blocking shots to me is an indication that guys are playing for each other and trusting each other, and that's been our focus, and that's what we'll continue to focus on.
That's Miami head coach Enrico Blase talking about the challenges his team is going to face against number 3 St. Cloud State this weekend. Should be quite a showdown in Oxford as those two get together. Elsewhere in the NCHC this weekend, just one other series going on within league play. Colorado College visits Minnesota Duluth, and then a rare Tuesday affair as Minnesota Duluth plays host to Bemidji State. This, of course, a rematch from the season opener that was postponed due to a power outage in Duluth, as the Bulldogs and Beavers will get together during the middle of next week. We'll recap all of those games right here on NCHC Between the Boards next time we meet. Until then, enjoy the games, everybody.